In World War I and II, fighter pilots became like superstars. One standout pilot from World War II was Hans-Joachim Marseille, also known as the Star of Africa. He was German and became famous for his exceptional skills in flying and shooting down enemy planes. People still talk about him because he was one of the best pilots ever, but he also stirred up controversy. Even though he fought for Germany, his enemies respected him because he was so good at what he did. Military recruitment. Hans-Joachim Marseille was born on December 13, 1919, close to Berlin. His parents split up when he was little, and because there wasn't much control, he got known for being a bit of a problem and rebellious. This reputation stuck with him even as he started his military career. He finally straightened up and finished training at one of the Luftwaffe's fighter pilot schools in 1938 when he was 20. He joined the Luftwaffe just as the Battle of Britain began. But soon, he faced the tough realities of war. His first air battle was a 4-minute fight with a skilled British pilot on August 24, 1940. Marseille pulled off daring and risky moves, which his unit didn't like, but he won the fight. Despite his unit criticizing him and struggling with the idea of taking lives, Marseille didn't feel good about his victory. Throughout the Battle of Britain, he often ignored orders and broke his unit's rules. He recklessly dived into enemy formations, leaving his wingmen vulnerable. He got shot down multiple times and had to crash land his plane, damaging it. Because of this, he got in trouble a lot and gained a bad reputation. Before long, Marseille's old rebellious behavior caught up with him. He was known as a charmer and ladies' man, with one of his bosses even saying he was very good-looking. He was a talented pilot but not reliable. He had girlfriends all over, keeping him so busy that he often got worn out and had to stop flying. His supervisors got fed up with this and punished him many times. They saw him as either a problem or a great pilot. He got sent to North Africa in April 1941. Marseille in Africa. When Hans-Joachim Marseille was sent to North Africa after a short stint in Yugoslavia, he faced some tough situations right away. On April 20, 1941, his plane had some technical issues and he had to land in the desert far from his group. But Marseille wasn't one to give up easily. He managed to hitch a ride on an Italian truck, tried to find another plane at an airstrip, and even convinced a general to lend him his car, an Opel Admiral. The general jokingly challenged Marseille to repay him with 50 victories, and by April 21st, Marseille was back with his squadron. Even though he had a rough start, Marseille soon started winning. By the end of April, he claimed 2 victories, kicking off his time in North Africa. But these wins came with a price. On April 23rd, his plane got hit by bullets from Sous-Lieutenant James Dennis, a skilled Free French pilot. Marseille barely survived and had to crash land near Tobruk. In another fight a month later, Dennis got the better of Marseille again, leading to another crash landing. By September 1941, his hard work paid off when he shot down 4 Hurricanes in one mission. By the end of 1941, with 25 victories and new planes to fly, Marseille was definitely making a name for himself. In February 1942, he got a big award called the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross for getting 46 aerial wins. On September 17, 1942, he got his 100th win, making him the 11th pilot in his unit to do so. When he went back to Germany for a break, he got another big award, the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross with oak leaves and swords. When he went back to fighting on August 23rd, he had his best month ever. He got 54 wins in total. He started winning each and every fight and so become one of the best pilots they ever had. Hans-Joachim Marseille's victories were entirely against capable Western pilots, for the most part flying airplanes reasonably matched against his Messerschmitt Me 109E, F and ultimately G. He was the highest-scoring Luftwaffe pilot on the Western Front, And to this day many Germans insist that despite his often having to force land or bail out as the result of incidental battle damage, he was never beaten by an Allied pilot in a one-on-one dogfight. 17 kill streaks. But his most famous day was September 1st, 1942, when he got 17 wins in just a few hours. He went on 3 separate missions that day. In North Africa, Marseille's first battle happened at 8:26 in the morning. He saw 2 enemy planes near the Mediterranean coast. He quickly took them down, both Hurricanes from South African and British squadrons, within 2 minutes of each other. Then, at 8:35 a.m., he found 2 Spitfires from an RAF squadron and shot them down too. He won the morning fight with his first 4 victories of the day. 3 of the enemy pilots survived by bailing out or crash landing, but 1 was killed. His second fight of the day happened over a lamb hafla. It was a fast and intense battle that would be remembered in history. In just 10 minutes, he took down 8 planes. At 10:50 a.m., he destroyed some Tomahawks from a South African squadron, getting his 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th kills of the day. 5 minutes later, around 11 a.m., he went after more P-40s from an American squadron, shooting down 4 in less than 4 minutes. Many of those pilots were killed or went missing even to this day. This fight became the most famous of Marseille's career, where he downed 8 planes in just a few minutes. After this, Marseille was given a Volkswagen Cooper wagon by an Italian squadron, and his Italian friends painted 8 on the side, which means 8 in Italian. His last mission of the day then began. Later that evening, Marseille scored his last victories, downing Hurricanes from the RAF's 213 squadron. He claimed 4 wins in 4 minutes and forced another pilot to bail out. Marseille ended September with 17 victories, although there's debate about their accuracy. He declined an invitation to a Hitler speech, opting to stay at the front. On September 30th, 1942, he led his unit in a new Bf 109 Model G, despite preferring the F model. Their routine mission encountered minimal conflict, allowing them to return safely. As Marseille headed back to base in his 109, smoke started billowing from one of the planes in formation. Soon, Marseille's engine began to fail, filling the cockpit with thick smoke and toxic fumes. Blinded and disoriented, Marseille prepared to bail out. But as he tried to jump, his plane was moving too fast and he was thrown back into it, likely killing him instantly or rendering him unconscious.